Greetings, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dr. David R. Wood, your host and Bible teacher here at Awake, Arise, and Triumph Ministries. And do you listen carefully before speaking? Do you listen carefully before speaking? Or is the first thing that pops in your head what comes out your mouth? We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to continue teaching out of the book of James, and the subtitle is Quick to Hear, Slow to Speak, and Very Slow to Anger. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of February. And I hope that you've come not just to gain information about the book of James, but you've come for revelation, for light that will guide your life. Before we dive into our text, I want to remind you to stay to the very end, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to whatever channel or platform you're watching this on. And visit our website, go to the shop, look at, and pray about coming on board as a partner. Now let's go ahead and jump into our text, James chapter 1, verses 18 through 21 in the King James. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. As I said yesterday, I don't know what I feel about being a creature. But anyway, wherefore or therefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Does that 19th verse hit you like it does me right between the eyes? Today we'll be examining hearing, speaking, and wrath. The following passage from Ecclesiastes is lengthy, but very worthy of our time and study. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2, and then we'll skip down to verses 6 and 7 in the English Standard Version. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. To draw near to listen is better than to offer the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they are doing evil. Be not rash with your mouth, nor let your heart be hasty to utter a word before God, for God is in heaven and you are on the earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Now let's skip down to verses 6 and 7. Let not your mouth lead you into sin, and do not say before the messenger that it was a mistake. Why should God be angry at your voice and destroy the work of your hands? For when dreams increase and words grow many, there is vanity, there's emptiness and pride. But God is the one you must fear. Don't be a big mouth. Vanity has to do with emptiness and pride. God abhors emptiness and resists the proud. I don't want to be numbered with either one. What about this being slow to speak? Oh boy. Proverbs 10, 19 through 21, English Standard Version. When words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent. Whoever restrains his lips is prudent. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is of little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for lack of sense. Dear ones, we must consider our words carefully before we let them fly. Once out, they are irretrievable. Let's be careful to make our words edify, build up the hearer. We want to build up people around us. Ephesians 4:29, English Standard Version. Let no corrupt talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Now, what about being slow to wrath? Proverbs 14 and 29, English Standard Version. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly or foolishness. I want the A portion of that verse, the slow to anger has great understanding, to describe me, not the B portion, which is hasty temper is foolish, exalts foolishness. Let's examine this a little bit further in the NIV translation of James 1:19 and 20. The NIV translation is a balance of word for word and thought for thought. As I've mentioned many times before, we must be careful with translations that are not strict word for word because we all have biases and filters, even the translators, even word for word translators. Be careful to know the meaning of the root word in the original language. Now let's look at James 1:19 and 20 NIV. My dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring the righteous life that God desires. We could say a condition acceptable to God with right doing in the eyes of God in place of the phrase righteous life. A condition acceptable to God with right doing in the eyes of God, the only eyes that matter, in the place of the phrase righteous life that God desires in that James 1 and verse 20. So what's our take home? That's all determined to prioritize listening over speaking. Take home 2. Let's consider our words carefully before we let them loose. Take home number 3. Let's be slow, very slow to anger. Well, Lord willing, I'll pick up our study right here tomorrow. I want to remind you there are many voices in this world, and they all have significance. Be careful what voices you're listening to, because some voices are taking you into righteousness and some into unrighteousness. Be careful. Listen carefully. Prove all things by the word of God. Well, thank you for listening, for watching, and go to our website, see a little more about what we're about. Come on board. Go to the shop, look at the books, order. They'll help you. And give us a thumbs up and subscribe to whatever platform you're listening to this on. We need to be getting this word out to more and more people. We need to be providing more sabbatical moments. And this is where we come alongside pastors that are hurting and are disgusted and discouraged. And we come alongside them to lift them up and to give them not only spiritual encouragement, but physical encouragement. We also need to partner with more foreign missions. We're currently partnered with, and very pleased to be partnered with, Light the World Children Ministry in Masaka, Uganda, led by Brother Gideon. He has some 65 orphans and several widows, and he looks over their spiritual and physical needs. Again, thank you for watching, and remember, we love you, the Lord loves you, and there's nothing you can do about either one.